Hey, welcome back to the channel. I am really glad you're here because today I want to share 5 tips for the new tractor owner, especially if you are in the market for a tractor or if you're considering buying a compact or subcompact tractor. Now, I'm no expert. I've had this Kubota B2601 now for about 4 years, and it's considered a compact tractor. So let's talk about some of the things I've learned over the past few years. My first tip is get a tractor with a front end loader attachment. Now, this is an option, but I think that most compact and subcompact tractors are sold with front end loaders. And unless you are absolutely sure you're never going to use a front end loader, maybe you have a specific need for your tractor, you should get one because it's going to affect the resale value. It's probably the most used attachment on a tractor other than maybe a mower deck. So get a front end loader. And be sure to get a loader with a quick attach system so you can easily remove the bucket and use other attachments like pallet forks, a grapple, or a stump bucket. A pin-on bucket may save a few dollars up front, but most buyers regret not being able to easily change front-end loader attachments. Now let's talk about rear attachments. What makes a tractor so useful is that you can change out all these different attachments to the back of the tractor and basically use one machine for so many different purposes. Now, these attachments work using the 3-point hitch system on the back of the tractor. That's exactly what it sounds like. There are 3 points where they attach. You've got 2 lift arms and a top link in sort of a triangle shape, and that's what attaches these to the tractor. Now, they can be a challenge, so you do need to have some mechanical skill, and quite frankly, you need to have some physical strength. There are some products out there that make attaching these attachments a little bit easier. One thing is a quick hitch, which is a unit that stays on the back of the tractor, has 3 hooks. You're able to back up to the attachment, lift up, it locks into place. And in theory, it works great. And sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. So again, you've got to be prepared to fight with it just a little bit. But you want to consider which attachments you're going to want with your tractor when you purchase it, but you can always add them later. And you will. You'll buy attachments and you'll always find something new. Now, one major rear attachment for the back of your tractor, and this does not work with the 3-point hitch, is a backhoe, which I do not have for my tractor. A backhoe generally attaches to the tractor with a subframe and does not use the 3-point system. But it is an attachment and it's something to consider. If you think you're going to need a backhoe, I would suggest purchasing it when you purchase your tractor, because you're not going to find one very easily in the used market, and to add one later costs quite a bit of money. So a backhoe attachment is a great thing if you have a use for it, but it's not cheap. So tip number 2 is seriously consider what rear attachments you're going to want for your tractor. But wait, there's more. Tip number 3 is still regarding attachments, but what I want to talk about are PTO driven attachments. Now, the PTO is that splined shaft that sticks out of the back of the tractor, and what you do with that is you connect a drive shaft to mechanical attachments like rotary mower, finish mower, rototiller, wood chipper, stump grinder, so many options. So you want to consider which attachments you're going to want that are PTO driven. And some tractors, like this B2601, have a forward-facing mid-PTO. And what that's for is if you want to consider an undermount belly mower or perhaps a front-mounted snowblower. They use that forward-facing mid-PTO. So if you think you're going to need a snowblower or a mid-mount mower, you want to make sure you look for a tractor with that mid-mount PTO. Now, quite frankly, I bought it because I thought it was a neat option. I've never used it. I don't think I'll use it. I don't think we'll ever have enough snow to justify a snowblower, although they do look pretty fun. But do consider, if you're going to use something like that in the future, you want to get a tractor with a mid-PTO. So tip number 3 is consider the PTO-driven implements that you're going to want to buy now and in the future. Now, we've all heard the old saying, size doesn't matter. Well, guess what? Yes, it does with tractors. It's really important to get the right size tractor for your situation. And that's not a simple equation or ratio of acreage to horsepower. A lot of tractors, being subcompact, compact, mid-size, share the same exact horsepower, but they have different hydraulic systems, higher lift capacities, different power at the PTO. So you really have to think about what your current needs are, what possibly your future needs are. If you get a tractor that's too small, you'll be upset that it's underpowered. If you get a tractor that's too big, you'll find that it's cumbersome and it won't work in places where you need it to work. So it's a lot to consider, and probably one of the biggest decisions you're going to make, because that obviously can't be changed. So tip number 4 is think about the size tractor and get the right size for your situation. Now you've considered all these factors, and one more question that people often have is, what brand should I buy? And nobody can answer that but you. Now, one thing about the big brands, the name brands, is they tend to be a safe bet because they're committed to long-term service, long-term parts availability. So you really can't go wrong with that, but you are going to pay a little bit more. Now, there are a lot of options out there with newer brands or brands that we may not have heard of in the past, but they're really stepping it up and they're putting out some good products at a good value. And a lot of those machines are actually built by the same company, so it's likely that parts are going to be interchangeable and available for a long time to come. So I don't know, good luck with that. And if you want to go with a good old US made tractor, well, good luck there too, because there are overseas brands that are now built in America. There are American brands that are built overseas. It's a global economy and global world we live in, so that's a tough call as well. So you really want to just do your homework, find the one that has the right features for you. I would go to the dealer that's closest to you, get a feel for the dealer. You want to be really comfortable with them, and perhaps ask them if you could have a reference of somebody locally who may have bought a similar model to what you're looking at, and see if you can go talk to them and see what their experience has been. Do exactly what you're doing right now. Watch YouTube videos, read, do your research, because it's a big investment and it's a big decision to make, and you want to make the right decision. And one more thing is, don't rule out finding a used tractor. There are a lot of tractors sold that have very little use, and if you keep your eye, you can get a good deal on a used machine. So tip number 5 is pick the brand that works for you. Basically, work with a dealer if you're buying new, and find a dealer that you're comfortable with, because you'll need to work with them going forward. Well, I hope you found this video useful. If you did, the best way to support this channel is to like the video, share the video, and if you've not yet subscribed to the channel, I invite you to join us. Remember now, I'm no expert. I'm just a guy with a tractor who wanted to share some of my experience with you. So good luck with your purchase and your search. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time.